What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Tuesday, December 31st. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and look at bets on the side and over-under, and I might be back in the afternoon to throw some player props in the pinned comment once injury reports are confirmed. No real recap, guys. The NFL game, the Monday Night Football game, is not quite over yet, but we've hit at least one player prop, and it looks like we're going to hit a couple more, so hopefully things go well over there. Guys, you may not even realize this right now, but this is actually the secondary channel. So if you're not subscribed, please check and go ahead and subscribe here to more Stump the Spread. We'll see how things go with the main channel. Hopefully we'll have that back here in 5 or 6 days, but that is still very up in the air. So for now, we're going to be grinding it out over here on the secondary channel. If you want to win all of your bets today, guys, and you want to just do me a big favor here, please consider hitting that like button. And like I said, subscribe to the channel over here. Comment down below letting me know anything you like about these videos or anything you dislike, and just let me know any picks you're looking at today, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I respond to every single comment out there. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and college basketball. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium picks straight to your inbox. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. The top comment below, you'll see our best picks, our favorite picks for the day. Now let's get into our first game we've got going on. We've got the Toronto Raptors going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. Toronto comes into this one, guys, fresh off another tough loss. They lost 136-107, so a blowout loss there at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. Just not a very good showing out there by Toronto. Obviously not a team that's necessarily trying to win at this point, but they were putting up some solid fights earlier in the season, but that's just not what we got against the Hawks. Scotty Barnes, a -34 in the plus-minus, only scored 19 points. I mean, I guess it was a relatively efficient shooting night, but just rough stuff out there across the board. We did see Jakob Poeltl play in this game kind of unexpectedly. He had 13 points and 6 rebounds, so not his best effort either. We even saw, a lot of the starters play kind of reduced minutes. As a team, Toronto shot only 7 of 24 from three-point range. That's not going to get the job done. They did have a big rebounding edge, so that's something positive, but really, guys, it's just been a bit rough out there. Grady Dick had a pretty bad day, and just across the board, not what you would hope to see if you're a Toronto Raptors fan. It was kind of a brutal night. We'll see if they can bounce back here. We've got some injury report news to go over. Grady Dick is on the injury report, guys. He's currently dealing with, hamstring tightness, so we'll see if that, leads to him missing this game. I would assume they're probably not going to be forcing him out there. RJ Barrett, undisclosed reasons here for his absence. He will not play in this game on Tuesday against the Celtics, so that is obviously a very, very big guy to have out there for Toronto. They're going to be missing him. That's going to be a large chunk of their production, so we'll see what happens. Obviously not going to be the full strength Toronto Raptors as they go on the road to take on the Boston Celtics, who come into this game 23-9 on the season, fresh off of a 123-114 loss against the Indiana Pacers. We were on the Pacers in that game. Loved them getting 11 points there quite a bit. It was a big letdown spot for Boston. The second part of a little 2-game mini series there. Atlanta got waxed by Boston in the first game. Well, they came back and got the win in the second. They played really, really well. Halliburton had one of his best games of the season. 31 points, a plus 13 from him. The bench played pretty well. Walker had a nice day. Thomas Bryant actually had some big buckets off the bench, and the Pacers managed to shoot nearly 40% from three-point range. They did a good job defending the three-point line, and really just Boston missed a lot of shots, and that's going to happen when you play such a three-point dependent style, but I think they're pretty happy with the way things have gone this season overall. So we'll see what goes on in this one for Boston. They come into this game not fully healthy by any stretch. Jrue Holiday on the injury report. Porzingis still on there. Holiday's a big part of what this team, wants to do. He's questionable for this game against the Raptors. I don't think they're going to be rushing him back, especially for a game against a terrible, terrible opponent, but there's a chance he plays in this game. Porzingis is also questionable. Another guy I don't think they want to rush back, so we'll see if he's fully healthy. He's dealing with a left ankle sprain, so Horford getting, some extra minutes here, I don't think is the end of the world either. So looking at the numbers for this game, we, as expected, see the Celtics as big, big favorites. They're 17-point favorites here. We've got a total of 231. Toronto 8-7 against the spread on the road. They're actually 15-8-1 against the spread coming off of a loss. Boston 6-12 against the spread at home. They are 6-2 though against the spread coming off of a loss. So I don't know, guys. It's a little bit rough on this game. A tough one to open up with, but I do think we've got to be on the Raptors getting 17 points. I don't love it. Obviously, they're going to be far from full strength for this game. No RJ Barrett makes a big, big difference, but 17 points is a ton. All that being said, I'm going to be very, very small on this game. I know Boston 6-2 against the spread after a loss, but that 15-8-1 against the spread after a loss for Toronto, and Boston being only 6-12 against the spread at home this season, I'm leaning towards Toronto in the points, but this is not going anywhere near the pinned comment. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks going on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Bucks are 16-14 coming into this game, fresh off a couple tough losses, though, losing to the Bulls and losing to the Nets. Not really what's supposed to be going on for Milwaukee. A little bit of maybe a hangover after the NBA Cup Finals win, but we'll see what goes on here. Overall, liked what we've seen from the Bucks here not recently, but relatively recently. They've dealt with some injuries and stuff. Their last game was at Chicago, and it didn't go great. Dame was back. He scored 29 points, but there was no Giannis in this game, and they played a very close one, so they did what they could. Dame did, a lot of the heavy lifting, 29 points from him. Didn't necessarily, hate at all what we saw from Chris Middleton. He's coming back with a vengeance. He had 21 points and was 4 of 6 from three-point range in the game. So a lot of positives for Milwaukee despite eventually taking the loss in that game. They come into this one, still we see Giannis there on the injury report. Chris Middleton's on there as well. Giannis, guys, he's dealing with an illness. He's questionable for this game. I think he's very, very likely to come back and play. We'll see. Keep a close eye on that for sure. But given this spread, I think this is an indication that Giannis definitely at least has a very good chance to come back and play. You could wait till close to game time. I wouldn't fault you at all for that. But right now, guys, I'm feeling very good about the odds of Giannis playing. Middleton is probable for this game as well, so it looks like we could be getting close to the full-strength Milwaukee Bucks, which would be a very, very big deal as they go on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers, who are probably riding high right now, fresh off of that crazy 123-114 win there they had against the Celtics. Yeah, that was quite the game there from the Pacers, no doubt about it. They have not had the best time this season, especially Tyrese Halliburton has had a really, really rough year, but he had a huge game, 31 points, a plus 13 like we were just talking about. Big buckets off the bench from a few different guys. Siakam continuing to just be solid out there. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Like, the dude is an absolute machine. So, loved what we saw from the Pacers in that game, although we don't necessarily love what we've seen from them over the course of this season. They come into this game relatively healthy. We do see everybody ready to go there in the starting lineup. Obi Toppin is questionable for this game. He's dealing with that ankle issue, so he's going to be back before too long. We just don't know if it's going to be for this game or not, but really that doesn't move the needle for me too much in this matchup. And looking at the numbers here, we see the Pacers are 1-point favorites. We've got a total of 229.5. Milwaukee 6-8 against the spread on the road this season. The Pacers are 5-7-1 against the spread at home. They are 5-10 against the spread coming off of a win this year. Guys, I know we have some uncertainty around the availability of Giannis. I think he's very likely to play in this game, though. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks here on the road. Maybe they think he's going to sit out. I'm jumping on this now. Even if he doesn't play, I think Dame and Middleton and this bench can give them a legitimate shot to win here against the Pacers, who are in a big letdown spot. So definitely give me the Milwaukee Bucks here as a basically pick 'em spot. I think they win this game straight up. Next up, guys, we're looking at the LA Clippers going on the road to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Clippers just finished up their current game right here on Monday night. They ended up winning 116-113 at New Orleans. So not an easy win by any stretch of the imagination, guys. A huge game there from Norm Powell, 35 points. Very, very efficient stuff from him. Only 4 of 12 from 3, but 13 of 27 from the field. Yeah, very good stuff. A very, very close game there, no doubt about it. Zubac had 20 points. Harden had 27 and was 5 of 10 from 3. As a team, the Clippers shot 35% from long range. We saw all the starters, especially Norm Powell, who played 40 minutes. All the starters played very, very heavy minutes loads. No real production coming from the bench in this game. The Clippers, definitely a team that could use a couple more pieces. We'll see what they do out there, if they can do anything at the trade deadline, but really a high effort game here for the Clippers. We're not going to have a lot of clarity here on their injury report, obviously, but we could definitely see them missing some guys. I mean, back-to-back games, not usually Harden's forte necessarily. We've seen Terrence Mann missing time with that finger issue. We'll see if he comes back, but yeah, kind of expecting the Clippers to not be at full strength this game, and at minimum, they are going to be pretty tired, guys. I mean, they did just play a pretty tough game out there, no doubt about that. Obviously playing at New Orleans, and now they're going to be playing at San Antonio. Not the worst trip, but a trip nonetheless. So we'll see what they're looking like here going on the road to take on the Spurs, who are 16-16 on the season. They're fresh off a tough 112-110 loss there at Minnesota, but they've had some rest here, guys, so they are not going to be playing on back-to-back nights. in that tough loss, guys. We saw very good stuff from Harrison Barnes. He's starting to turn it on a little bit. Wembanyama had another massive game, 34 points, a +5 out there. Chris Paul, despite being 0 of 6 from the field, was a +13. He had 14 assists in the game. Overall, the Spurs shot the ball pretty poorly, only 28% from long range. Definitely a number that they can improve upon. Anybody can improve upon that. That's pretty freaking bad. But I've been loving what I've seen from the San Antonio Spurs here down the stretch here at this point in the season. Like, they got off to a slow start, but they have really, really turned things around. So things looking pretty good for San Antonio in terms of their, injury report. I think we, can expect to see all the big names out there, and really they're looking healthy across the board. So expecting the full strength San Antonio Spurs out there for this game. And so are the odds makers. We have the Spurs as 3.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 217.5. The Clippers are 9-5 against the spread on the road, but they're only 2-4 against the spread when playing on no rest. The Spurs are 9-9 against the spread at home. They are 10-5 against the spread after a loss, and they are 7-1 against the spread when they have a rest advantage. Guys, this is going to be one of my big bets of the night. I'm taking the San Antonio Spurs here -3.5. I think they find a way to get the job done here against the Clippers. We're jumping on this one super early. I suggest you do that too if you like it, because I think this is going to move, not the direction you want it to move. Go ahead and give me the Spurs in this one before news breaks on the Clippers possibly resting somebody. Next up, guys, in one of the marquee games of the night, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Timberwolves come into this game winners of 3 in a row and fresh off of that game we were just talking about against the Spurs, where they eventually got the win 112-110. We didn't necessarily love everything we saw across the board from the Timberwolves. They were doing a good job of sharing the ball. We saw very evenly distributed scoring. We saw Dante DiVincenzo have his best game as a Timberwolves, guys. 26 points, a +23 out there. He was 5 of 10 from three-point range, and he made 5 out of the 11 threes that the Timberwolves made. They shot only 25% from long range. They dominated the boards 56-41, something they're going to need to try and repeat in this matchup, although it's going to be a lot tougher. We saw Randall, 0 for 7 from 3. That's not a great look. Bro kept shooting. I don't know if that's something you really want him to be doing. Anthony Edwards was only 1 of 9 from 3. Like, it was a brutal game in terms of shooting, but they managed to gut out a win. We saw DiVincenzo shoot the lights out. Good stuff there for the Timberwolves, I guess, to get an ugly win here. They do come into this game very healthy, so that's a big plus. Obviously, you need Mike Conley to stay healthy. Honestly, they might be better if Julius Randle got hurt, to be honest. But what are you going to do? I don't know if that trade is, getting rid of Cat and bringing in Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo is something that they would do over again if given the opportunity. But hey, what are you going to do? They will, they'll take it, but we'll see what happens, guys. Overall, I think we, maybe are starting to lean a little bit towards Minnesota being a slightly better team than they looked like in the beginning of the season, but they're facing a pretty big test here going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 26-5 on the season, fresh off a 130-106 blowout win there over the Memphis Grizzlies. In the Grizzlies' defense, guys, they did not have Ja Morant for this game, so not the full strength Grizzlies, but still dominant stuff out there for the Thunder. SGA had 35 points and was a +27. We saw 3 double-digit scores coming off the bench. Very impressive stuff there. Dort only 3 points, but managed to be a +13. Just very good stuff out there. And keep in mind, guys, this team is going to get way better when we eventually see Chet Holmgren make his return. So, yeah, things definitely looking up there for Oklahoma City. They played great in this game and got a comfortable win. They're also relatively healthy, guys, but Alex Caruso not ready to go for this one. He's still out there with that hip issue, and it appears he's going to be out for this game here on Tuesday as well. So we'll see what they can do, but I'm expecting good stuff here from the Thunder, who are 6.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 215.5. Minnesota 9-7 against the spread on the road, but they are only 7-9 against the spread after a win. The Thunder are 8-5-1 against the spread at home. They are 16-8-1 against the spread when coming off of a win. Guys, give me the Thunder here -6.5. This is another play that's going in the pinned comment. I think it's a very good spot for them. I think the Timberwolves are being overvalued right now coming off of some wins, but this is just not really an actually good team in my opinion right now. So give me the Thunder, one of the best teams in the NBA, to get a pretty comfortable win here playing at home. Moving right along here, guys, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Grizzlies come into this game 22-11 on the season, but fresh off that 130-106 loss we were just talking about against the Thunder. They've had a good season, generally speaking, but Ja being week to week now with that shoulder issue, that AC joint sprain, is not a great development. We did see some positive things, like Bane had a nice day out there, but they shot only 27.5% from three-point range against the Thunder. That's not great. They did have a rebounding edge, so make of that what you will, but they also turned the ball over 21 times. That's not going to work. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a terrible game. Jalen Wells was also not very good. Yeah, Bane and I guess a little bit of Scottie Pippen Jr. was the most, positive things you could find for this team, but it was just a rough night out there. I mean, I guess there was some decent, chip-ins there from the bench. Luke Kennard was 4 of 9 from 3 and had, 16 points off the pine, so I guess that's something good, but overall, not what I would term as smooth sailing this season, or at least not right now in that game for the Memphis Grizzlies. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, Ja not going to be back. We see Edey also on the injury report. It appears, with that concussion, he's not going to be back for this game either. Marcus Smart still on the injury report. He's been, injured basically all season, it feels like. He's, not going to be back. A partial tear of, the right index finger. It's going to be real bad. That's not going to be something that gets better quick. Santi Aldama dealing with a left ankle sprain. He's considered week to week. Brandon Clark with a calf issue. Like, this team is just banged up right now. So we're going to be far from the full strength Grizzlies as they go on the road to take on the Phoenix Suns, who have now lost 5 out of 6. They're having a brutal time. They're down to 15-16 overall. They're fresh off a 109-105 loss there in a very close game against the Warriors. KD had 31 points. Bradley Beal had 28. Very good games from the superstars, but this is not a roster that's been constructed to survive here without Devin Booker, and it has not been surviving without Devin Booker, guys. It's been pretty tough out there for the Suns. I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine in the long run. I mean, fine is kind of a relative term, though, so we'll see what happens with them, but I'm not super high with what we're seeing from the Suns. I mean, they got out-rebounded by the Warriors. They only shot 25% from 3. They did play some okay defense, but really, guys, this is looking like a Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant team and very little else. So things are looking not great for them. The injury report still isn't ideal. Nurkic is suspended now. Devin Booker is out, guys, dealing with that groin issue. I guess he's technically questionable for this game, so keep an eye on that, but I think he's a long shot to actually end up playing. Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal both on the injury report as well. Grayson Allen, he's probable for this game, so he's going to be coming back from that concussion to play against his old team. Royce O'Neal with that ankle issue, he's going to be out for this one. That is confirmed as out. So we'll see what they can do here. The odds makers love them here as big favorites. They're 7.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 237.5. Memphis actually 9-6 against the spread on the road this season. The Grizzlies are 8-5 without Ja this season, which is pretty impressive stuff. Phoenix 5-12 against the spread at home. The Suns are only 1-4 without Devin Booker this season. Guys, give me the Grizzlies here getting 7.5 points. I wouldn't even hate it if you wanted to sprinkle the money line on this one. It's a big bounce back spot for them against the Suns team that is not very good at home. I think Memphis could actually win this game at home despite being very, very short-handed. I know they're banged up as well, but the Suns are not playing great. Go ahead and give me the Grizzlies, and I'm going to go ahead and take those 7.5 points. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Cavaliers are actually playing right now. At time of recording, they are in the second quarter there against the Warriors, and things are very, very tight. So looking like that's going to be a close game. We'll see. We're going to be watching the rest of that one. Pretty excited to watch that game. Should be a great one. Cleveland's been playing fantastic this season, 27-4 on the year. They have a very legitimate case as the best team in the NBA. Not a squad that's going to have to make any moves here. They've been relatively healthy as well. Getting Max Strus back has been nice. Isaac Okoro has been dealing with that injury. He's going to miss at least 2, been missing time there with that AC joint sprain. He's been out around, 10, 11 days. Last time he played was back on the 16th. So it's right at 2 weeks now. So should be getting close to a return, or at least, a chance of return, but he's not going to be back for this game, guys. Other than that, Cleveland is fully healthy out there. We've loved what we've seen from Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland this season. Jarrett Allen's playing great. We've seen Evan Mobley do good stuff. I mean, Donovan Mitchell seems pretty content out there in Cleveland, and I think they have a contending team out there in the East. I think they've got everything they need to give any team fits, especially the Celtics, and I think if you can make it past the Celtics, you can definitely claim to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. So loving what we're seeing from Cleveland right now. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Lakers, who finally made a significant move, guys, bring in Dorian Finney-Smith. We'll see how that all pans out, guys. I mean, having Dorian Finney-Smith now, I don't know. I'm not going to super overreact to this news, to this whole switcheroo thing, this whole trade, but I mean, getting D'Angelo Russell out of there, definitely a good thing. He wasn't really doing too many positive things for them. So we'll see what happens here in their last game, which is obviously, a different look Lakers. They did have a very good one against the Kings. Anthony Davis came back from that weird turned ankle where he was just running on his own and rolled his ankle, but he looked great. 36 points, a plus 21, 36, 15, and 8 on the night for him. LeBron, didn't even play in this game. They did not need him. Austin Reeves had another good night, a plus 15, 26 points from him. absolutely just, kind of taken over out there in LA. It's been pretty cool to see what he can do. Dalton Connect finally had a good shooting night again. He was a +9 and scored 18 points off the bench. The Lakers did shoot 53, almost 54% from three-point range in that game. Not something you can count on a nightly basis. So we'll see what they can do here, guys. Looking at their injury report, the Lakers obviously are pretty much always going to have LeBron and Anthony Davis on there. We expect that. We see that all the time. LeBron is dealing with an illness. He's questionable for this game. I'd say there's a good chance that he plays. Anthony Davis, he's also listed as questionable with that ankle sprain, but he just played, and he played really, really well, so I expect to see him play in this game. Also, guys, the Lakers are getting 2.5 points playing at home. We've got a total of 227.5. Cleveland, 9-4 against the spread on the road. They're 4-2 against the spread on no rest. The Lakers, 8-6 against the spread at home. They're 8-9 against the spread after a win, and 4-5 against the spread when they have a rest advantage. So, guys, as of right now, I'm going to be leaning just slightly towards the Lakers getting 2.5 points at home against Cleveland. We'll see. I'm going to need Cleveland to be pretty tired in this game. So this one's not going anywhere near the pinned comment. Check back. We may end up putting it in there. It's a possibility. I'd say it's at least slightly unlikely, but you're going to want to check back there just in case we throw some player props in as well. But this is a game we're kind of going to have to wait and see on because we just don't know what kind of shape Cleveland's going to be in after playing against the Warriors. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Everybody that's found their way over here to the secondary channel, we're already over 1,000 subscribers. We've been getting very good numbers over here, so I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget to like the video like you guys have been doing. That's been awesome. We're killing it over here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate or any other sports going on out there. I appreciate you watching. Click the link in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com. We have premium picks over there for every major sport every single day. I'll see you guys tomorrow right in this same spot for more sports betting action.